Hi everyone, this is Abhilash Gopinathan from Aspire Justice Academy and a member of Dharmapeetam. So today we are going to discuss some details about law and what are the career options that we can have if we take law as a serious career option. So to start with, let us think what basically law is. So in simple terms, we can say law as a set of rules and regulations which prescribes a certain do's and don'ts in the society. So we know we all are the members of the society, and there are some certain rules and regulations, some restrictions, some possibilities that are given to us that we can take to make our own lives more easier, better and comfortable in the society where we live, right? And this is not something new that we have in the present day or the modern day world. These kinds of rules or regulations, restrictions and all these kinds of things were there right from the ancient civilization onwards. Okay, so every society should have a set of rules or regulations to make governance of that particular society easy, and those set of rules and regulations are called law in simple terms. We can say it also imposes certain rights and responsibilities for the people. It's not all about the restrictions that we have, we should not do that, we should not do this, we should only do that. No. The same set of rules, the law provides us with some duties, some responsibilities, some rights as well. So when we get something from the government, from this particular what we call the set of regulations, we have some responsibility to give something back to the system also. Okay, so these rules, regulations, rights, duties, everything combined together is called the law, right? Now, why do we need law? What is the need for us to have a particular system called law or this legal system? See, in a society, law is a fundamental concept that decides what is good, fair and equal for all the members of the society. There are so many different kinds of people and there are segregations among the people, but the law of the land is something that is unique, common and equal for every member in the society. Okay, and that has to be set. It's not something that we can dictate, but there should be some set system with which we make the governance of the land easier, and that is why we call it the law of the land, right? That's one thing, to govern the behavior of the people in accordance with the norms and the society they are a part of. In a society, all the people should follow some regular things. It cannot be like some people can do something and others cannot do something. It should not be upon their personal prejudice kind of a thing. All the people should be under the same set of rules and conditions, right? That is another thing, to balance the damages and the wrongdoings done by some against the victims and the society in general. So when something wrong happens in the society, when someone does some kind of wrong on another person in the society, that damage that this person who had suffered need to be compensated, isn't it? So this compensation has to be done on a set system according to some rules which is applicable for everyone. So these rules, this law actually protects the individuals in the society and the society as a whole. That is another major reason why we have law. And gathering and utilizing the resources for the general good of the members of the society. So we have got something called, we call it tax. How this tax need to be gathered from each and every people, how they have to be utilized for the general good of the members of the society, all these kinds of things together means each and every aspect of the members of a society is totally dependent on how the law of the land is being implemented in that country. So in that aspect, law is a very serious subject and we need it. In a normal way, when we look at this particular thing, we see generally only two career options in that. One, we call them the lawyers, or we call them the advocates, and the second, judges, isn't it? So these are the two major streams, we call them the mainstreams. They are the two major job opportunities or career opportunities that we commonly see around us. But instead of that, there are plenty of career options for those who want to pursue law as a serious career option. So what are they? See, generally we can categorize them into two concepts. One is lawyers and the second is non-lawyers. So if you take lawyers, what are the options that we have in that? See, we have law firms. What do you mean by law firms? It's something like a corporate office kind of a thing, who will have branches across the country or different regions, and there will be association of seniors, juniors. They will be taking up the cases and dealing with the cases anywhere across the country kind of a thing. So there, they need lawyers to represent their clients in the court of law, right? Then we have litigations, arbitratory kinds of things. Public prosecutors in government sector, we have public prosecutors. Legal academia, law is a subject which is being taught in many colleges and universities, where they need persons who have got in-depth knowledge and grip in the subject of law, which is to be taught to the younger generations. So as academicians, there is good opportunities there. Military lawyer. Even in defense departments, they need the service of lawyers, and we have got opportunities there. Then solicitor, criminologist. Then we have judicial services, as we said, the judges. Banking and insurance sector is another major area where they need the service of lawyers very much. So all these are options that we have basically if you want to pursue your career as a lawyer. As a non-lawyer, means you will not be going and representing yourself in the court of law. Again, the first option is law firms. Law firms actually require a lot of people to study the cases, to make the points out of things and all these kinds of things. We may simply call them as the behind the screen kind of a job. You can easily get or develop your career in those aspects. Administration. Many of these companies that we have around us definitely need people in the administrative departments who has some knowledge at least. If you have greater knowledge in legal aspects, it's a great opportunity for us. So in administrative departments, yes, we have. Then a chief financial officers in the company, because the finance is such kind of a serious area where such kind of knowledge in the legal aspects along with the financial aspects are very important. Legal secretaries are there in the companies and organizations. Legal receptionists are there. Then paralegal services are there. So there are vivid opportunities. Different kinds of opportunities are there for anyone who wants to take law as a serious career option. Okay, now, just like any other career, this career that we want to pursue in law as a legal expert also has some pros and cons, means advantages and disadvantages. So before considering the advantages, let us check what are the disadvantages that we have in this. So the first and foremost disadvantage is that it's competitive. It's highly competitive because we have a very good number of legal experts around us. So definitely it is a competitive area. Second, it's a time taking. To establish yourself as a legal expert will be a bit time taking because we need to learn a lot of things. We should have this ability to get into this particular system, like to apply the concerned or the related legal aspects into one particular situation. So to become an expert in this particular field, it will take a bit of time. And the third one, it's a highly demanding one. It's also a disadvantage. Now, what are the advantages? The first and foremost advantage is that it's a highly prestigious area. It's a highly prestigious area. The kind of respect that a legal expert get in the society, in the organization, is much more than that of many other sectors where we can find a secured career. It's a very prestigious one. Second is, it has got greater opportunities and higher growth rates. We cannot restrict ourselves into one particular field. If you have that fire inside you to pursue, the opportunities that you can find around you is very huge. It's vast. And the levels we can go into this particular career is also very high. It's not just the courts that we see around us or in the national wide. There are international courts as well. So the opportunity that we have, if you pursue this, take this as a serious career option, is very huge. Diversity. That is the third one. Diversity means there are different options in that. We need not stick to one particular subject in this. Then it's a well-paid and a secured job opportunity. The remuneration that the legal experts get is huge. Okay. Now, flexibility. You will not be following something like a 9 to 5 kind of a clock job. You will be at your freedom to fix the timings and be at your will. So that flexibility that we have in this. And the last one is, we have some special powers in us because we have the ability to make the change. We have this capacity to question the wrongdoings that are happening around us, and if we are interested, we can bring in very many changes in the society around us. So, in very simple terms, we can see the advantages always outweigh the disadvantages in this particular career. Okay. Now, okay, we have seen about what is law, what are the what is importance of law in our society, then what are the advantages and disadvantages of law, what are the career options in law. Okay, now if you have to do this particular thing, if you have to pursue law as a serious career options, what should we do? The first and foremost thing that we need to do is we need to study law as a serious subject. So there is a course, we call it LL.B, Bachelors of Law. Okay, so this is a basic step that we need to do. We need to study a course called LL.B. So this course is actually offered in two particular streams. One is a 3 years course and there is a 5 years course. So what is the basic difference between this 3 years course and a 5 years course? See, a 5 years course is something that a candidate can directly join immediately after his intermediate or +2 or any other equivalent examination, right? So for LL.B 5 years, we will be joining immediately after intermediate and then we will pursue this course for 5 years. It actually has two sections inside it, a 3 years degree program and LL.B. So for this basic degree program, you can select different subjects in B.A or B.Com or B.B.A, right? So after this 5 years, completing this 5 years program, we will be coming just as someone as M.A. LL.B or B.Com LL.B or B.B.A LL.B. Okay, and this 3 years program is offered for those who have already completed their bachelor's in any streams. There is no such restrictions that you need to pursue this particular course to take LL.B in a 3 years program. If you have completed any kind of a bachelor's program, you can pursue this 3 years program and you will be certified as an LL.B. Right? Now, what are, after completing this LLB, what are the opportunities that we have? Let it be 3 years or a 5 years program, it doesn't matter. We can start our career as a legal practitioner. A legal practitioner means, as we saw earlier, in the mainstream aspects of a legal profession, either as an advocate or so. Second is judicial services. After completing this, there are some examinations which we need to clear, and we can get ourselves into the other sector in that as judges. We can have our career. We have opportunities in the government sector, and that is the government practitioners, much more a secure sector. Then another major opportunities in the present world is that of law officers. Every companies and organizations nowadays need this particular sector called law officers among them, and that is a great opportunity. Then, as I said earlier, academicians, teachers, to teach law as a subject in the law colleges or law universities across the nation. Then there are diploma courses, specialization courses. LLB is a generalized program, and if you want to continue your or improve your knowledge in any particular field, like cyber law or endowment law, any such kind of, there are around 150 plus such kind of programs available in India. So you can take this 6 months programs and pursue your expertise into that particular field. That is also useful in different ways. We will talk about that later. And there are legal correspondents. Yeah, in the media sector also there are opportunities for those who are experts in law as legal correspondents in the media. Again, NGOs. Yeah, NGOs are usually considered as a social service organizations, but there are NGOs related to law which even offers some more greater kind of services. So they are also opening greater opportunities for us. And another is LPOs. Okay. So it's something like an international arena kind of a thing. Just like that, we have BPOs. We have LPOs also. So the diverse opportunities that we have after completing a 3-year or a 5-year program in law goes like that. Now let's see what are the opportunities that we have if we take any one of these options we have. The first one, we saw it as a legal practitioner. So as I said, it is in the mainstream of law as a profession, and what you need to do is that we need to clear All India Bar examination to get ourselves into this mainstream as a lawyer. And once we clear that, we get ourselves as established as an advocate, or in simple terms we call it a lawyer. Okay, and these advocates or lawyers have 2 different kinds of opportunities in the court of law and in the corporate firms. So in the court of law there are plenty of opportunities, like we get specializations, like you can become a criminal lawyer, you can become a civil lawyer, you can become an income tax lawyer, you can become a cyber lawyer. Plenty of options are there. It's all about your particular interest in pursuing any particular kind of field in that, and you improve your expertise in that particular arena. So in court of law, we have these options, and the corporate world also, as I said earlier, need the service of those who are expert or those who have some expertise in the legal aspects. So there we have opportunities like advocates, legal advisors whenever they sign a new contract, either with any clients or parties, or when we get an appointment as an employee in any corporate world, we sign an agreement. No? So all these kinds are very strictly scrutinized by these experts in law. We call them the legal advisors. Then document drafting also is an area where such kind of legal advice, legal expertise is required in the corporate field. We know the present day world is entirely ruled or mostly ruled by these corporate firms, and everybody have an interest to become a part of this corporate world because the security or the luxury or anything that this particular field offers is such a high one. So even if you pursue law, there are still opportunities for us to become a part of any of these corporate offices. Okay. So in the mainstream, if you want to become a legal practitioner, definitely we have all these opportunities open in front of us. Right. Now the second one, judicial services, and that is as judges. We whenever we come across a news regarding something related to some cases, kinds of things, we come across this particular word, the judge. In every court of law we have a judge, only their positions change. And it's another serious area where we can get settled. So what we need to do for that? So once you have completed your LLB, then you need to write an entrance examination kind of a thing called Junior Civil Judge Examination. Once you clear that, you will become a magistrate. And from there, you can become a senior civil judge. From there, the sessions or district court judge. From there, you can become the high court judge, Supreme Court judge, the ultimate. Okay. The criteria to become or achieve any of further hierarchies is just 10 years of experience in each of these sectors is good enough. From one sector to the other one, up in the hierarchy, we always have greater opportunities. Right? So that is also an area where we can pursue ourselves, but along with that, we have to improve our grip in the legal system as well. Right? So from the magistrate, the lowest level, we can reach the highest level, the Supreme Court judge in this particular stream. That is a second option that we have to pursue our career in law. Now the third sector is in the government sector. So government also needs legal experts in two aspects, either to give them the advices and the guidances in the policies that they make, or to represent them in the court of law whenever there is a need to do that. So if you want to become a government representative, the first thing immediately after completing your LLB, what you need to do is you need to clear an entrance examination to become the assistant public prosecutor. We are much familiar, we may be much familiar with this particular word called a public prosecutor. Right? So they are in the district level, they represent parties in the district level. If there is some such services like advice or representations required in the state level, we have an advocate general. Okay, and attorney general is a person who represents the government in the Supreme Court. Whenever there is a case where the government has to represent a legal practitioner to deal with any of the issues in the Supreme Court level, then we have an attorney general. And in central government level, if the government need any kind of legal advices related to some policies they make or to deal with some kinds of issues, then there is a person called a Solicitor General who actually provides such kinds of services, advices and all to the central government. Right? So these are the areas where the government sectors, or we have as a law professional in the government sector. Okay, it's a great opportunity actually. Now, the next one as a law officers. So law officer is something like an unavoidable part in any organization. Because every organization or association in our country is legally bound and their activities need to be guided by the experts in law. So it can be banks, it can be military, it can be municipalities and corporations, railways, road transport corporations, airports, MNCs and companies, insurance, mutual funds, financial areas. All these kinds of organizations need the services. So especially in banking sector, for example, if you have to take loans or such kinds of things, or if you want to take an insurance, or if you want to start a mutual fund, anything, there are some set of rules and regulations that is kept by the organization who offers us the services. Okay, so they have to be strictly scrutinized by the legal experts so that ultimately the company has a safety. At the same time, the client's security also need to be considered. Okay, again, municipalities and the corporations, they also, because they are basically the grassroots level policy makers, we can say. So they need to be very much aware of the legal aspects which they need to consider when they bring about a policy. Then railways or road transport corporations or airports. These are some areas where we usually get complaints and they need to take care of a lot of activities over there related to the passengers we usually call them, like, or commuters we can call them. So in case if these people come across any kind of inconveniences there, they have the right, the passengers or the commuters, they have the right to question it. And they also need to represent themselves. Military services also need the help of legal experts. So law officers are an unavoidable part in any of these organizations, and it is another greater opportunity that we have if we want to pursue law as a serious option in our career. Okay? Now, as an academician, the next opportunity we have is as an academician. We have number of law colleges in our country and a lot of law universities also. All these institutions actually need people who have in-depth knowledge with almost all of its diverse aspects in that, to teach the same subjects to the younger generations, just like you, who have a serious consideration to pursue law as a career. So academicians, to become a law academician is another major serious law career opportunity that we have. If you want to become an academician in law, after completing your LLB, you need to do the master's program called LL.M, and then you need to clear UGC NET or a SET, National Eligibility Test or State Eligibility Test, organized by the Union Grants Commission or the state levels. So after clearing NET or SET, you need to do your Ph.D. in law, and then you are eligible to become professors in law universities or lecturers in law colleges. It's also an evergreen kind of an arena to have, or if you have, if you're passionate towards teaching, but you're interested in law, you can combine these kinds of things together. See, law is such kind of a subject which provides us with such kind of opportunities which usually other subjects cannot do. If you are interested in teaching, or if you want to become basically an academician, but you have a passion towards law, you can easily combine it together to become an academician. We have plenty of opportunities in the number of law colleges and universities spread around the country, across the country. Right? So that is another opportunity. Now, another one is subject experts, we call it in the diploma courses. As I said earlier, diploma courses in subjects related to law is an option which is actually open for any graduate. You need not be a law graduate if you want to pursue a diploma course in any of these subjects like labor law or a taxation law or intellectual property law or a cyber law or environmental law or criminology. See, all these kinds, there are plenty are there. Around 150 different subjects are available for in this. But if a general graduate, a graduate who has not pursued law as his subject in bachelor's, if you do this course, they can just improve their knowledge in that. They cannot represent themselves or present themselves in the court of law. But one who has completed his LLB, if they are interested to pursue any of this diploma courses in any of the subjects in which they are interested in, they become an expert in that. And they can build their career in that aspect of law itself. And there are opportunities also which are specific to some of these courses. For example, if you do your diploma course in labor law, you have opportunities to become the labor officers. Taxation laws and practice, if you pursue that, you can become an income tax consultant or income tax lawyer. If you pursue intellectual property law in IT sector, you can become the legal advisors for MNCs. MNCs who actually need the service of these kinds of legal experts will be specifically looking for people who has got some kind of expertise in these kinds of subjects than the general one. Under such a scenario, if you have a diploma certificate in this particular subject or area of intellectual property law, then you definitely have an upper hand than the others who have applied for the same post. Or if you follow cyber law, one among the hottest subsector in this particular field, you can become cyber lawyer or cyber expert, law expert. If you follow environmental law, see how many opportunities are there. You can become an environment policy analyst. You can become an environment protector analyst. You can become an environmental consultant. You can become general managers of the company. You can become the product managers in the companies. Because many of the companies now have to do their development activities properly based on considering environment seriously. So whenever they come or roll out any new projects, they have to keep this particular concept alive there, and for those they strictly need the services of persons who have some kind of expertise in the environmental law of the country. So these are just a few examples I have mentioned here because mentioning all the 150 and its opportunities is a big task. So from this itself we can see how divergent are the opportunities for us when we have an LLB, and based on our basic interest, if you pursue any of the courses that is available there to be pursued in this diploma courses. Okay. Now, the next one, legal correspondent. So, the role of media, either electronic or printed, is so huge in our present day society. We know that. And there are many inputs coming from the court of law in these, what we get as news. But, gathering this information from the law and telecasting or printing and publishing it as a news is not a silly task which any ordinary correspondent can do without causing any kind of legal issues for that particular media, either printed or electronic. There are some rules, regulations, kinds of things for that. So as there are issues, these media houses, bigwigs, are looking forward for people who has this knowledge especially to be recruited as legal correspondents, specifically for these kinds of news pertaining to the court of law. That is another opportunity to become a legal correspondent. Then NGOs. NGOs is a well-established field, just like in any other field, in the field of career of law as well. Because there are many NGOs which offer services in negotiating or arbitrating and all. So recently there was a news in which we might have seen that an International Arbitration and Mediation Center, IAMC, was inaugurated in Hyderabad. So this actually gives opportunities for plenty of people, because that is a place where people, organizations, companies, MNCs, anything can come to have their issues settled without any legal issues within the limits of the law of the nation. So we have such kind of opportunities. It is something, see, IAMC is an international platform actually, where we can have international issues also arbitrated and settled. There are other organizations also across the country where we can have our career settled. Then the last, not but the least obviously, as I said earlier, are the LPOs. LPOs actually stand for Legal Processing Outsourcing. Legal Processing Outsourcing. So legal processing outsourcing is something like, it's a kind of a project, just like what we have in this BPOs. Outsourcing is a process which is explained as turning over a project to an exterior provider that will execute the project on behalf of the central companies. So we have a project and that need to be executed, but yeah, this parent company or the organizations may not have enough resources for that, manpower for that, or there can be some time constraints kinds of things. Under such circumstances, what is being done is such kinds of jobs will be provided for the people, experts who are capable of doing that, dealing that within the time limit that they have expertly. So under such circumstances, what is being done is that will be given to the service providers who are outside these organizations. This is something that we can commonly see in BPOs. Nowadays, even LPOs or outsourcing is getting serious in the legal aspects also, and we do get a lot of opportunities. We have established the systems, the companies where they take such kinds of cases nationally and internationally, where they need experts. It's not just like anybody can go there, sit on the chairs and do with that. No, as these are strictly legal, the persons who are dealing with these kinds of issues also need to be experts in law itself. So there are very few countries who actually offer LPO services, and thankfully India is one among them, and it is also providing a wider opportunity for those who want to pursue career. See, when you want to pursue a career, there are so many aspects we need to consider in that. Yeah, there are behavioral differences among the people. Some people may be introverts, some people may be extroverts. Some people, they may have some kind of inhibitions in them to present themselves in the public places. Some people will be very, expert or extraordinarily genius kinds of things in the paperworks and doing some research kinds of things. Legal career actually is a mix of both. If you are an extrovert kind of a thing, if you do not have any kind of inhibitions, kinds of things to present yourselves in the public, make your point strongly, you have got a very good command in the language, no problem, you can come to the front line. If you have more expertise, knowledge in the area where you are concentrating on, you can easily become the part of the companies, organizations, MNCs kinds of things. But if your capabilities are a bit limited, you have got issues in coming forward, no problem. NGOs kinds of things are available, LPOs are available, law firms are available where experts with these kinds of issues also can find the works and get settled. So this particular opportunity that we have in law is not only divergent in the aspects that it is dealing with, it has these kinds of adjustments as well. Best fix with your personality traits, behavioral traits as well. Okay. So these are the different ways by which we can get ourselves established in the law career. Now, if you want to start a career in law, what should you do? We saw we need to do LLB. LLB can be done either after intermediate or after degree. Okay. What should we do for that? If you want to do LLB, to start a career in law, you need to do some major course after your intermediate or +2. You can start your career seriously in law after intermediate. So intermediate is the basic qualification. After intermediate, there are different kinds of courses available in India, and there are some different kinds of entrance examinations also pertaining to that. So first and foremost, we have a CLAT, Common Law Admission Test. It is one of the most prevalent entrance examination if you want to pursue your career in a law. So what is CLAT? CLAT simply says Common Law Admission Test. So this is an entrance examination which is actually conducted by a consortium of 22 law universities across the country. It's a group. They conduct an entrance examination, and this test is actually conducted for both the UG level and PG level. 5 years course and a PG course, 1 year course also is there, which is applicable for those who have already completed their LLB. Then we have AILET, All India Law Entrance Test. It's conducted by National Law University, Delhi, NLU, Delhi, for the admissions for undergraduate or postgraduate or even doctorate courses, Ph.D. courses also in the courses of law. It's a national level entrance examination. Means anybody from anywhere in the nation can write the test. Then we have LSAT, Law School Admission Test. It's organized basically for the purpose of 5 years courses or 3 years courses, LLB or LL.M in India, to join and to pursue the courses in different law schools like colleges, law colleges in India. Then we have Army Institute which offers a course in law, and for them there is another test called Army Institute of Law Test, AILT. Then we have IPU. IPU is organized by Indraprastha University, New Delhi, for the courses in law that they offer. So different universities in the country offers different kinds of courses in law across India, and some are national tests and some are separate tests. So in whichever you want, you can take an entrance examination, you can get through that, and you can pursue your career, and you can get settled in the field of law. So opportunities are plenty either to pursue a course or in getting settled. So among all these different or divergent tests that we have, with which you can get an admission in any of the law universities or colleges, the most important one is CLAT. As I said, CLAT is organized by a consortium of 22 national law universities, and it's quite a prestigious one to get an admission into them and to continue the course there. Especially for those who have just completed their intermediate, if you want to pursue your career seriously in the court of law, the most important test that we need to clear immediately will be CLAT. Recently, the CLAT notification also was released, and in the next session, definitely we will be dealing completely with the CLAT notification, the opportunities that we have, what are the things we need to take care of, what are the subjects that are being dealt in that, and CLAT entirely in detail. So I hope in this session you might have got some idea, at least not if completely in detail, regarding the career opportunities that we have in law and what are the different diverse specifications in which we can grow ourselves, or opportunities we have in front of us for those who want to pursue career as law as a specific career. So in the next program, in the next session, we will be dealing mostly with the CLAT in whole. Until then, taking leave from Dharmapeetam. Thank you.